Hey guys, welcome to my Bulldogs round one review against Manly. Um, yeah, not really much to talk about. Pretty depressing, honestly, for anyone that watched it. You know, same as the past couple of years. Just issues in attack. Defense was decent, and then we just died at the end. So like score lines, it is what it is. But just our attack is just non-existent, and it's just painful to watch. Like obviously, new coach coming in, so there's going to be some kinks, but you can't compensate for the amount of errors we made, which we'll talk about in a sec. All right, so on the side there, I think it'll be there. There'll be the stats as normal. I don't really care about the stats for this honestly because the stats they're not really the issue. The issue is the way the team is set up, in my opinion. So I've got some notes just here. That's why I'll sort of just look over there. And then so the first note that I've got is that this year we are going to struggle massively because all we have is a left edge. All right, and what I mean by that is, we've got Burton out there, Kickow, Paul Alamotti, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, and addo-carr. Obviously, very strong side. Right? Obviously, like it is a very dominant side of the field. World-class players across the board there. 3 out of those 4 are what you would consider world-class players, or at least potentially world-class players, with one up-and-coming future star, hopefully, in Alamotti. But, because we have such a dominant left side, the right side doesn't touch the ball ever, and it becomes very easy for opposing defences to just shut down our left side, which is what was constantly happening against Manly. Right? Down our left edge, I think there was 9 errors. I think it was 4 for Burton, 3 for Kickow, and 2 for addo-carr, or 3 for Burton, 3 for Kickow, 2 for addo-carr, whatever it was. It was 8 or 9 errors, whatever it was, down our left edge. And that's because it's the only place we went, so it was easy for them to read. They'd push up real quick, put the pressure on Burton, Kickow, addo-carr, whoever it was, put the pressure on them, and we'd just lose the ball. We'd make stupid mistakes, kicking it out on the full twice, right? Kickow kicking the ball for some stupid reason, right? Burton taking the ball right into the line and then panicking at the last second, throwing a hospital ball to Alamotti. He did that a good 4 or 5 times. And then obviously at the end of the game, Burton just, giving up and passing the ball to Cherry Evans for a hat-trick. That was great too. Love seeing that. But yeah, if that's the way that if that's the way that our season's gonna be, then we might as well prepare to get the spoon because it's gonna be so easy for defenses to read our attack because all we have is a left side. So buckle in, Bulldogs fans. Gonna be a long season as usual. As you can tell, I'm very just disappointed. Alright, the next thing I want to talk about, Hayes Perham at fullback. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt this week because, new to the team, like I said, we only really have a left edge. So, and then the amount of errors down the left edge, it was very hard for him to inject himself in the game. But with that said, there were many times where he could have been sweeping around to the outside, following up in support on the inside, whatever it was, and he just didn't. He just wasn't there. Right, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt this week and say it's just, bleeding him in because, new player, new club, stuff like that. But honestly, if the same thing happens next week where he's not making those sweeping runs out the back to try help get the overlap, if he's not hitting up in support, right, if he's not doing any of that sort of stuff, personally, I'd love to see Averillo get put back into fullback because I think he killed it last year. I think he was one of our best players last year. And I don't see a point in him being dropped from fullback when he was doing so well. Right, so yeah, Hayes Perham, in my opinion, I'll give him next week. But if it's the same sort of thing where he's just not making those sweeping runs and not sort of doing the supporting role he probably should be doing, then yeah, I think Averillo should probably get put back there and given his fair crack like he deserves. Alright, one thing I sort of want to quickly touch on, Jackson Torpany. Alright, our forwards this game were average at best. Alright, I think Max King, Fatala Mariner were fantastic. The rest of them were bang average at best. Alright, so because of that, I would love to see Jackson Torpany brought into the squad. He bleeds blue and white. in my opinion, I've said it before on this channel, I think on one of my old Bulldogs videos, in my opinion, he's a future captain. Like, he is fantastic. He's runs hard, tackles hard. He's everything that the Bulldogs DNA is. And the fact that he still hasn't been given at the very least, a bench spot is ridiculous to me. Like, no offense to Corey Waddell, but I'd be having Torpenny on the bench over Waddell. I can't think of who our other bench player was. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But yeah, I would be, at the very least, I'd be having Torpenny on the bench as a 14 or a 15. Like, you can put him at 14, you can put him in the second row, you can put him at lock, you can put him at hooker, right? Or you can just have him on the bench as a second row to come on and just, run hard yards, right? Like, but he needs to be in the squad at some point. He's too good not to be, and we're going to lose him if we keep treating him the way we are as a club. Right? He's a fantastic player and he deserves his spot. Just sort of wanted to mention that one a little bit. Right? And then, honestly, the only positive that I've got from that game, I got it written down here, was Reed Marnie. His creativity out of dummy half got us our only points. Right? So if we can build off the back of that, then there's definitely potential there, but we need to build off the back of it, obviously. So, yeah, only positive for me, Reed Marnie, he was fantastic. Did exactly what everyone was expecting him to do. Get in the dummy half, do those little darts, win penalties, get those quick passes off, put in those little kicks, just stuff like that, little creative little things to sort of get us on the ball, get the ball rolling. Right, so yeah, Reed Marnie, amazing pickup. I would say he'll be the pickup of the season for us, right? Without a shadow of a doubt, pickup of the season for us. He'll be up there for player of the year for us this year. Like, easily. Very easily. Alright. So, the big thing that I want to talk about from this video is Kyle Flanagan. Now, first things first, his sin binning. By the rules of the game, it is a sin binning. He did have his hands on Turbo's back. But I think common sense-wise, we all can sort of agree logically it should not have been a sin binning, right? You go back and watch it, Turbo had clearly overrun the ball. He'd overrun it big time. He felt Kyle's hand in his back and he's just, sold a dream and gotten Kyle sent off, right? So I'm not putting any blame on Kyle for that. Like, that's just an unfortunate series of events. Like, Turbo sold it like a dream. So, I'm not going to put Flano down for that. I don't think he deserved to get in, obviously, by the laws of the game. Yes, he should have been sin bin, but it's just sort of one of those things where it's like, the attacker sold a dream, and unfortunately the referees went for it. All right, and then the last thing I want to talk about, again, Flano, is that I hate how much flack he gets after every single game we lose. It doesn't matter what happens. It is always blame at Flano. Every time. Right? I'll use this game as an example. After this game, I jump on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that. Just see what people say about about the performance, about the game, stuff like that. All you see is, Bulldogs need a halfback. Bulldogs need a halfback. Flanagan's not good enough. Flanagan did nothing. Rah, rah, rah. This, that, the other thing. Blah, 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 blah. And look, don't get me wrong. I don't think Flanagan's a world-class halfback. Like, I don't think he's a world-class number 7. But, especially in this game, to throw the blame on Flanagan is just insane. It's ridiculous. Alright? Because, in the team that we have, in the system we have, he never gets the ball. He never got the ball. Everything goes to Burton on the left edge. Alright? And Burton didn't do anything. Where's everyone throwing blame at Burton and kick out? No one won't say anything to them because they're premiership winners. They're from Penrith. They're premiership winners. You can't call them out. It's like, yeah, they're premiership winners, but they were premiership winners in a fucking dominant team. Right? Put them in a team that isn't as dominant, and now look at them. They're doing fuck all. Right? Like, Burton last year, don't get me wrong, he had a good season last year, but he wasn't a superstar. He didn't live up to the hype everyone expected of him. Now, did he? No, he didn't. Alright, but no, the blame still goes on, fucking Flanagan. Alright? Like, I've got their stats here from the game. So, comparing their stats, Burton 10 runs for 46 metres. Flano, 5 runs for 37. So, what's that? 9 less metres in 5 less carries. Okay? Awesome stuff. Burton, 4 errors. Flanagan, 0 errors. Alright. How come Flanagan's never getting errors? Well, because he never touches the ball. He never gets the ball in attacking situations. It always has to go to the left edge. All right. Burton, 17 tackles, 6 missed. Flanagan, 20 tackles, 1 missed. All right. And then kicking game, again, it always goes to the left side, so Burton's obviously going to have the better kicking stats. All right. 10 kicks for 260 metres. Flanagan, 3 kicks for 104 metres. All right. What? Why is Burton... Sorry, not why is Burton. Sorry. Why is Flanagan getting all the blame? Like, he never gets the ball to do anything. Like, the amount of times... Like, you go back and watch the game. The amount of times where Flanagan would be standing there at first receiver saying, like, hit me, we have, something's on. And then the ball would just go left because Burton and Kikau are out there. It was ridiculous. It was insane. By the end of the game, Averillo was completely fresh. Averillo could have done a 100-metre sprint. No dramas, because he never fucking touched the ball because he's on the right edge. It's just stupid. Like, give Flanagan the ball. Let him fucking use it. Like, we've got talent across the park. You got Fatala Mariner on the right. Fucking Averillo. Kiraz on the right. That is a good right edge. But they never get the ball because everything has to go to the left. Because that's where Burton and Kikau are. And it's just stupid. It's ridiculous. Right? And then, in games like this where we lose, everyone's, Burton needs a proper halfback. Burton needs this. Burton needs this in order to succeed. It's like, no. Burton needs to stop being a fucking ball hog and stop being a fucking glory hog. And I'm not saying it's all completely his fault, because I'm sure it's coached that way. So, the coaches and all that need to be like, all right, yeah, look, don't get me wrong, Burton's a great player, but we've also got a whole other side of the field we can use. But we don't use it, we don't touch it, because Burton's on the left. All right, it's just so frustrating, because there's a good player in Flanagan. Right now, look, I don't think he'll ever be a top 3 halfback in the NRL. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Yep, he'll never be a top 3 halfback in the NRL. That's just the unfortunate truth of it. But he's not a bad player. He's not. He's just, no matter where he's gone, he has never been given the proper chance. Right? Because he's always played second fiddle to someone. Right? Every time. If Flano were to go over to England, where he could be the dominant half, learn his craft master, like Jackson Hastings did. Jackson Hastings was playing second fiddle while I was over here. He went over to England, learned his craft, mastered his craft, came back, and now he's a fantastic halfback. I reckon Flanagan should do the same, because unfortunately there's a stigma about him over here that he's just not good enough, which isn't true. Right? Because if that's the case, why is Luke Brooks still playing? Luke Brooks is fucking garbage as a halfback. But no, he's still fucking playing. He's been playing for fucking 10 years pretty much as a halfback, right? But yeah, honestly, that game, not really much you can do. Just errors killed us. Our left edge killed us, right? So yeah, if the main focus for us this year is just left edge, push that left edge, we're screwed. We're gonna get pumped every game because it's gonna be so easy for opposition teams to just push up and shut us down on that left edge every time. We need to put some faith in Kyle, Fatala Mariner, Averillo on that right edge. Right? There needs to be some faith there, and clearly there isn't. Whether that's by the players out on the field themselves or that's by the coaching staff, I don't know. No one will know, right? But there needs to be some faith given to that right edge. Because there were a couple times in that Manly game where our right edge actually made some line breaks. Like, Fatala Mariner would get the ball, he'd fucking run it for 15 metres and almost get an offload away. He gets that offload away, we're gone. We're off and running. And the reason he can make those metres is because everyone's like, oh, they're just going to go left. So they don't mark him properly. Right? But yeah, Bulldogs, in for a long season. Right? Yeah. If we stick with this system of left edge, because we've got our superstars out there, then yeah, we're going to get fried this year. I hope it changes. I hope as Serraldo comes into his own, he can sort of start to build a team that can work the left and the right. Hopefully he can. But, only time will tell. Alright. Yeah, that's my round 1 review against Manly. Yeah, long road ahead. We'll see how we go. Yeah, I'll hopefully have a a roundup, a round 1 roundup out tomorrow, hopefully. Either tomorrow or the day after, whichever one. But yeah, hopefully I'll get that out. I've got Tuesday off. Hopefully I can get down to the field and do some recording on Tuesday. But yeah, we'll see how everything goes. Alright. But yeah, with that one, guys, have a good one. Take it easy.